All right, audio test. Let's see how the audio sounds. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Sorry about that delay, but for the next few hours we are going to be working on the MCG. I'm joined with Minnie and a special guest this time. We are joined live by TheHolder, so we're going to be working on the stadium. As you can see, we've already done quite a bit on the inside, but now we're looking to work more on the exterior. So this has been a project we've all been working on, a collaboration for over a month now. However, we took a break recently, but we're back at it, hoping to finish up this stadium very soon, perhaps by the end of next week. So just recently, last night, we did a lot of work and we figured, hey, might as well stream it and just kind of show you guys the building process. So this is the first collaboration between our channels, which is really exciting. I'm sure you've all checked out TheHolder, but if you haven't, make sure to go subscribe to his channel. The link is in the description. So over here, we've already done this right part of the stadium on the exterior. We worked on this grass hill a lot last night. So now we're going to be working on continuing more of these exterior buildings and then some of the grass lots all around the stadium. All right. So this was the big challenge that Minnie and TheHolder worked on last night, figuring out how to curve this hill. So we're going to be, basically the main reference we've been using has been Google Earth with Google Maps, which kind of gives us a great 3D model that we can fly around and see different angles. So there's this big road that curves up, and then we match that to the foundation of the stadium with this hill. And then I worked on these staircases over here. So you can see we've also done these buildings here on the exterior of the stadium, and then we're working with a custom texture pack, which is how we're able to get some of these blocks, such as this blue color or some of the colors of the stadium seats that you saw earlier. So I'll just do a quick spin around the stadium. Because I'm streaming, I have kind of all my settings really low, which is why the render distance isn't great and you can't see shadows. So hopefully the lag isn't that bad with the stream. But we'll see, my internet has been kind of spotty today. And I'll always stay, for the stream as long as you can, but we'll also have this entire thing up on the channel as a normal video after the stream. If this is your first time checking us out, thanks for coming. We have lots of other stadiums we've done, such as some NFL ones now. This project we're really excited to be working on. So you can see this side of the stadium we haven't really done much on, just the interior. And then we're going to kind of continue that pattern of buildings on the exterior with the entrances and then the parking garage ramps. So I'll show you guys quickly on Google Maps where we are in the stadium. All right, so you can see in the top right of the screen, here I am. We have this live picture from Google Maps. So you can see this triangle right here is that grass section I'm standing over with the 2 staircases. And this big grass hill right here is what we were working on last night. So you can see there's these parking garage structures here and then the entrances. So these kind of loop around the entire exterior of the stadium. So our goal, let me go 2D. So this is the stadium here. Our goal is to build part of this railway here to the east of the stadium, or to the west rather, and then we're going to do some of these grass sections around the stadium, which are little parks that cars park in sometimes. So as you can see, we're starting to work on this area right here. So I'll show you that on Google Maps so you can follow along with us and show you kind of the reference images that we're working off of. So that's right here. So this is that plaza area, and now we're starting this road which goes along the edge of the stadium and actually goes kind of under the concrete path. And then we're also going to build this bridge walkway. So that bridge walkway is going to come out from here. I should probably clarify, this is Kyle speaking, and then I'm building with TheHolder and Mini. This grass section here, I'm not too happy with how it turned out. It's just kind of awkward because the grass slopes up at a steady rate, but then it's got a stick out that it lines up with. So I might work on that later, on making that look a little cleaner. But for now, you just kind of get the idea of it. And then this roadway just continues to the left of that staircase, and then it basically goes under this path here. And also, if you have any questions, I'll be checking the live chat periodically, which is why you see me free sometimes. So if you have any questions for me or Minnie or even TheHolder, I'll shout them out and we can get some answers to any of your questions. We don't talk to each other with voice usually, but we have chats where we just talk in game, and then we just kind of follow each other. So we've got a nice system down, and that's also, you know, building in a trio is kind of how you're able to get so much done. Because normally, say you're building a stand, it would take a while to go back and forth and fill in all those blocks. But once you have a layout, all three of us can kind of work together, and it makes it go a lot quicker. And this texture pack we're using, I believe it is based on Faithful. I'm not sure if that's correct, but then we altered some of those textures. So if you're just tuning in, this is a collaboration. We're building the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which is in Australia. So eventually it'll be done soon, and I believe the plan is that TheHolder will be uploading a time-lapse of this entire build on his channel, which will be awesome. And then we'll have a cinematic version of that on ours. If you're enjoying the live stream, make sure to drop a like. So this is going to be that roadway here, so it's 4 lanes, which then continue basically straight on a 45-degree angle. And then once we have a good section of it, we'll just be able to copy and paste it with World Edit once we figure out how we want to do the spacing of these lanes. So we had built a lot of this stadium a couple months ago, actually, mainly the interior, but we had taken a break recently. So this past week, over a couple nights, we've done all this exterior portion on this side of the stadium that you can see, and then some of those roof details in the blue. I'll zoom in on Google Maps so you can see this road area we're building right here. So you can see the 4 lanes. Looks like Brenton Avenue, if that means anything to you. So this road area, it'll continue and basically go all the way there. It's kind of cool. The stadium, it sort of looks from the outside like it's all above ground, but at least on this side, it's raised up, and then there's kind of tunnels and stuff that go underneath for, you know, player parking and stuff like that. Also, what's unique is that normally, at least with American stadiums and a lot of stadiums otherwise, they have big kind of concrete areas where people park. But with this stadium, it's all these grass fields, which look really nice that people park on. So on Google Earth here, you can see this road will continue under a bridge that we're going to make, and then it actually goes under this concrete path here and then continues on. So we're going to build this road and then some of this railway here next to the stadium, just to give the stadium more context. I think that's an important detail that sometimes people neglect to include. You know, you build a stadium and that's awesome, but when you are able to put, you know, more detail and kind of place the stadium somewhere, I think that can add to a build a lot. So some of the commands we're using, someone asked, so we use //line. So if you have 2 points with world edit, with that you can make a line between those 2 points. And then some other things are replace. So if you want to replace one block to a different block in a certain area, you make a selection like normal, then you can do that. And then we also use fill to fill. So you have an area that's bordered with no holes, then you can fill in that entire area with a certain block. So say you had a square, you can fill that with, say, stone pretty easily. Fortunately with the stream it's kind of hard to build with how laggy it is, but we'll try to persevere through as much as I can. So just going to extend this all over by one. You can see we're kind of making sure to take the time to figure out how we want to do this path exactly, just so that we don't kind of stack it along and then realize that the angle is slightly off. It's a lot easier to fix those small details now, so we don't have to go back and change them down the line where it might take a lot much more time. So we're going to do this surrounding area to the left with the railway, but then we're also going to be doing stuff all around the entire sides of the stadium. So on this side, the main feature is the railway that you can see in the top right. But then on other sides, there's kind of these grass geometric shapes with trees that we're going to do. The Olympic Stadium in Montreal is a very cool stadium. I'm not sure specifically if we have that on our list, but it's definitely something that could happen in the future. With the trees, there's kind of lots of different ways you can do them. Normally placing a sapling manually takes a lot of time. So yeah, you can either do, as was suggested, you can use brush and kind of with world edit, just point and click, and then we'll place a tree there. Or there's world edit commands for trees, or you can just kind of make a tree and then copy and paste sections of it. So it just kind of depends how you want to do it, and also whether you're working in a square or on a diagonal, stuff like that. And also with world edit, which a lot of people don't know, is you can make a selection which is not square. So you can change how you make your selection to be, say, a triangle or, you know, an octagon or something like that. And also on Google Map with Google Earth, some things you can do is look at Street View, or they have like 3D photos. So you can see is that here there's this blue line, which means I can click on it, and then that'll show me a streetcar view of actually this road that we're working on right now. So that's that kind of grass triangle I was talking about earlier, then this plaza area, and then a statue that we'll make eventually. So we've got this pattern down, so now we're basically able to duplicate it along this entire path both ways. So with that, we're just using normal world edit to select it and then paste it. It's like I'm glad you like the music. It's kind of hard to find audio that we can play because so many songs are copyrighted, so it's just a 1 hour loop of music. I've tried different stuff in the past, but it's just hard with copyright things, so this loop has been fine in terms of copyrights. That's what I've been sticking with, and people seem to like it. I should also shout out our Discord server, the Stadium Community Discord. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're most likely in it, but in the event you're not, it's in the description of most of our videos, and it's a Discord server where you can communicate directly with us and get sneak peeks and share your own building progress. Should also mention this isn't the only stadium in the works for both of our channels in terms of MWS. We have some other builds. I'm currently working on Mackey Arena, which is a college basketball arena, which normally is kind of small, but for the first time I'm building it at 1-to-1 scale, which means that every row of seats IRL is represented, so there's no scaling there. So it'll be coming out soon. And I know TheHolder is also working on some very impressive stadiums. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention specifics, but I'll just say to keep your eyes peeled for those videos. The hard part with Build the Earth, it's a great project, and the people who are working on it is incredible, is that stadiums are rarely lined up in terms of cardinal directions. So we've built this stadium so that it is rotated straight, kind of. But in real life, so you can see here on Google Maps, this is kind of oriented. So this is kind of oriented with north up top. But you can see the stadium itself is kind of rotated like 10 degrees. So if we were to build this and put it on Build the Earth, then we would have to rotate the entire build. So that way it would line up with everything else, which just makes things very difficult. So for our purposes, it's kind of easier to build it as if north is more like that rather than how it actually is, like that. So now we're just doing this retaining wall on the side of it. So I can show you what we're building now on on Google Maps here, if it loads. You can kind of see it's this concrete wall to the left of the road. Right here. And then this here is that part of the stadium that the road goes under. So we'll also build this stuff over when we're done with that. So here you can kind of see those views. For anyone new, I'll show you the work we've done on the interior so far. So not all the textures are perfect yet, but we've got basically everything done on the interior. So it's kind of hard to show with my render distance, just trying to prevent as much lag as possible. As you can see, it's kind of already choppy. But then we have the pitch here. Not sure if that's the right word for this, but I'll call it that, or the field, I guess. And then I made the Toyota AFL logo right here. So it's kind of hard, but I guess you can get a good idea of just how massive this stadium is. Let's see, I'll try to show more of it real quick. So yeah, it's really turning out great. So I'll go back to the exterior now. And then this is that pedestrian walkway. I'll show you that on Google Maps real quick. So that goes over the road, and then we'll continue over the railway. So here we have this big section. I'll show you how fill works. So just stand in it, and then the block, I'm using this like gray wool. So just fill, then the block, you can say the name or the number, and then just how big of a radius. Just do 50. And that fills in that entire section since it was closed. Once again, if you have any questions, make sure to keep them coming. Let's see if we have any images from the bridge. Doesn't look okay, that's okay. When do I expect to finish the stadium? I think it's going to be soon. You know, the progress we've made in the past couple days, a couple more days, I think it'll be done. Not sure what our schedules are going to look like in terms of lining up. So that's kind of a hard part in terms of, you know, getting all this done. We all live on, you know, 3 different continents, which makes things hard. It's some ungodly hour in the morning for TheHolder. So it's kind of hard with our schedule. Some days even later than it would normally be just because of mine. But I think a couple more days of just these kind of long sessions and we'll have it done. And then from there, it's just however long it takes to, you know, render a time lapse of it with the mod and to record a cinematic video. You can definitely expect this to be out soon. Yeah, in terms of time zones, it's about 9 p.m. here, which isn't that bad for me. For Minnie, it's early in the morning. She just got up recently, I believe. And then, well, it's actually not that bad since we started late. And then for TheHolder, it's after midnight. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how hard it is to schedule, especially with like school and stuff. But we're figuring it out as we go. This is actually our first collaboration together, official one, so we're hoping for more in the future. So you can see this truss on the exterior, and then you can see that on Google Maps here. It's kind of this funky design. So you can see that design better. The channel name, we used to do more with WWE stuff, so it was an old acronym for Minecraft wrestling sets, but since we don't do that anymore, we just kind of abbreviate it to MWS. That's just kind of what we've gone by. When we made our logo change, when we hit 500 subscribers, we were thinking about maybe changing it, but there wasn't really any reason to. And that's what we're known by. Yeah, so once this walkway is done, it'll be a really cool view of the stadium. Just kind of coming up here with the trusses, and then you can see, well, you can sort of see it with the render distance. Minecraft World Stadiums. That sounds kind of cool. Maybe we'll pretend it means that. Fortunately, with streaming, my Minecraft is very choppy, so my apologies about that if it's noticeable. The nice thing about this stadium, and actually with a lot more stadiums than you might expect, is that everything's basically patterns. If you don't have World Edit, this is kind of difficult, but with World Edit, even without it actually, just being able to repeat things makes it easier. Just kind of simpler than you might expect. Oops. Once again, anyone else, new viewers, if you have any questions, it can be related to this or unrelated to the build itself, ask and we'll try to get them to you. So then we're just going to use a line to connect these supports that are in the stadium. think I did that wrong. Yep. There you go. So you can kind of see how that lines up with it on Google Maps from the streetcar view. So you can see this concrete path on the exterior side of the stadium, but we just have that retaining wall now. And the nice thing with Street View, running right through, let's see if I can make this bigger real quick. Just gonna make it bigger real quick. So the nice thing with Street View is that even though this section here is underground, where we normally wouldn't be able to see it, with this, we can just go along and then see kind of all these windows and then the concrete columns underneath, where otherwise we would have to guess. So it just makes it more realistic to look at the details. Do we think we'll do interior such as changing rooms or no? To be honest, most likely not. Just because it's kind of hard to pick and choose which small details you do. So we just kind of do the stuff that's visible. So I don't know how much we're going to get involved in the concourses. I mean, if say the stadium had an open exterior where you could see all those things, such as when we did TIAA Bank Field last month, that's something where we would go in and kind of show those things. But since it's something that no one really would notice, it just takes up too much time to focus on the small things where we could, say already be done with a new stadium such as this one if we had been focusing on all those small details. But that's always something, if you end up downloading the world, you can always do yourself, which I think is kind of fun. You can add your own parts to our builds. And then what's nice is that these overhead support columns just repeat, so we can copy one and then paste it over. Yeah, it's kind of fun when we build. We really don't have to say a lot, which you might not expect. I guess it's just kind of like communication we don't really need to have since we've already kind of established it. Sometimes we'll all work on 3 different parts, but normally, say one person will be working on something, then the other person will be helping them, and we just kind of like go hand in hand with that. I mean, we have ways of communicating. We have like a little mini chat thing that we can like use reference images, which is important. Say we're both building this road, but one is looking off of an image and one's looking off of a street view. One might be more accurate or show different things, so there might be confusion. So we just kind of try to make sure that we're all referencing the same thing, and that just helps us, especially if we can't find reference image, maybe someone else will have it. Let's see. All right. Should be good for now. You can even see, we're going to do a whole, oh well. But you can see how we're still even going to do more on this left side, but just by having this road here, it just kind of adds to the stadium itself. So it's not just like a floating circle of gray, it's got context to it. It also just shows kind of the scale. You can build a massive stadium, but if you don't show things to compare it to, it just kind of loses its effect. And some cool things we're able to do with the custom textures here is that this white stuff here is actually glass, but we're able to texture it a little bit, and then you can kind of see how it looks more like you would see glass in a stadium where it's opaque, but you can't really see a lot through it. Yeah, so this is like a really small couple-person server that we have on PC that we're able to all work on together and edit at the same time. The only downside to that is, say we make some big world edit, the server can crash kind of easily, and then it can kind of take a while to put the server back up. So occasionally what we've done in the past is, say I'm going to be working on a stadium just by myself. I'll just build it in single player rather than on the server, because that just makes it easier to get a download file when we're done building to put in a YouTube video. It just also makes it easier as a single player world can't crash, or if it does, you can just easily start up Minecraft on like a server. If I had to estimate how many blocks would you say you've used on this build, I honestly have no idea. It's something we've or at least I have tried to think about in the past, like making a big world edit selection and counting all the blocks in the stadium. But that's such a hard thing to do without like another program that I just have no idea how to estimate that. But this is definitely the largest stadium I've worked on just in terms of size, because the oval is just so much wider and longer than, say, a football field or a soccer pitch, or a football pitch, depending on where you're from. So, yeah, also just the amount of people the stadium can hold is incredible. Not sure what that is off the top of my head, but definitely more than most, say, NFL stadiums or like European stadiums. And partly because of the scale, it's something that we've wanted to build for so long just because of how big it is. But then we were able to do this collaboration, which has been awesome. And also the nice thing about building with 3 different people is motivation. Like, if you're just doing something by yourself, it can be hard to find motivation to work on something. But with 3 people, or even more, it's a lot easier. Even 2 people, it's kind of easier to find motivation. Lots, that's a good answer. It's not exactly 1-to-1, but it is impressive, the size of this. And then also with that comes, you have to start to think about render distance when you're recording a video. And as is, not even 1-to-1, it's going to be hard to figure out how to record this just because you need the entire stadium to be loaded in when you're recording. And say for me right now, I'm streaming and I can barely render in this part and it's still kind of choppy and kind of hard to build. I think what we might do in the future is just switch over the stream to a different account. I'll still commentate, but just so we can have the stream be less choppy. So our apologies about that. Just had an idea. I think in our final version of the texture pack, we're going to use a custom grass texture. I'm sure you've seen it where it has grass on the side too, not just dirt. So that way these hills look a little better. Just with the dirt showing, it doesn't look that great. Although kind of realistic because the real life stadium has a lot of dirt patches, but we'll try to make it look nicer. Let's see. So the architect just did the research. Largest stadium in the Southern Hemisphere, over 100,000 seats. That gives you an idea of the just size of this thing. Twitch, have we ever considered streaming on Twitch? So we used to stream on Twitch in the past, but just in terms of like the audience, it's a lot easier to directly stream on here, where we already have kind of the fan base established. But tomorrow we're gonna set it up a little bit differently, and hopefully the lag will be a lot less severe. So you can see now TheHolder is making that selection, and he's making it not in a square, but rather he's just following the points, so that way he can fill it in a lot better. Awesome. Yeah, so we're on PC right now. Once again, any more questions, keep them coming, or comments or anything. If you haven't liked the stream, make sure to do it. If you're enjoying it that much, share it with a friend. So now we just have the supports on the opposite side of the road too. We have our own private server that can just fit a couple people that we build all of our stadiums on. When we're working together, it just makes it a lot easier as we can all interact together. Alright, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try to see if I can join the voice channel on the gallery. So that way if anyone wants to come talk with me and be on the stream, they can do that. Let's see if I can figure out how to make it so you can hear that. How long are we streaming for? Not sure. Yeah, it's been over an hour. Just gonna kind of go for as long as we feel like. Let me check my resource pack real quick. Okay. All right, so I have joined, if you're in the gallery server, which is linked in most of our recent videos and the holders videos, you want to come talk. In theory, that should work, and we'll be able to hear you on stream. I'm not sure yet if that'll work out, but we can try it if anyone's interested. Is it hard making texture packs? Not really. Normally it's just taking current textures and just like adjusting the color a little bit to match real life colors. Sometimes it's kind of trial and error, like any type of building is like putting a texture in and then seeing if it looks realistic to the actual color, and if not, redoing it. All good, Jacob. To the person who just sent me a DM, I'm not entirely sure how the servers run, so unfortunately can't really help you there. How do you keep yourself motivated when working on a stadium? I would say at this stage, it's not that hard to find motivation, just because of how much we've already done. It's like there's no point in stopping when we're so close to being finished. Earlier on, it's kind of hard when you're like not even halfway. It just seems like there's a ton of work to do. But especially having 3 people, you can get so much done in one night that it's just not that hard to find motivation, to be honest. And also whenever we make a stadium, it normally does really well, and we get a lot of support from that, so just encouraging. I have a lot of respect. There's a lot of kind of newer builders who make incredible stadiums only to get like 50 or 100 views, which is just ridiculous. They deserve so much more. So I understand in that situation, it just can kind of be hard to, put so much effort in it and not really feel like you're getting anything back. But so many people on the Discord server we're in, just incredible builds that they always post about. And also just being in a community like that can also be inspiring about, creating ideas, just encouraging people to, post progress and keep working on their stadium. So now I'll show you on Google Maps what we're working on. So you can see these window facades here. That's what we're making right now. Do I know how to set up a private server? Someone just asked that. I don't. It's not me who runs the server, but I'm sure there's like plenty of YouTube videos. And I think if you want, you can even set up a server just from your own computer if you want. So there's lots of different ways to set up a server, but you definitely don't need a server to build. Who uses the voice chat? No one apparently. No one wanted to join, but that's all right. Welcome back. Yeah, I wish more people used the voice channel. That's okay. So we're continuing work on the parking garage, or sorry, the shops here under the stadium next to this road. Once again, any questions you have, make sure to leave them if you're joining the stream. Leave a like, share it. We'll hopefully be working planning on ending it very soon. And then hopefully we're also going to be streaming again tomorrow. So hoping to get this beast done soon. Also, something you could consider is there's lots of like public build servers where you are kind of given plots with like lots of random people on them. But if you want to build with a friend, you could always go on one of those and just build a stadium there. That can kind of be restrictive if it's a public server in terms of what commands you're allowed to and if you're allowed to use world editing kind of restrictions. But that's always an option. Don't let, like something like that stop you from trying to make a stadium. Oh, I agree. I hate hearing my voice, to be honest. I hate like listening to it back. But public speaking is a very important skill to have. And I've definitely gotten better at it from trying to fill 2 hours of just talking to myself. So maybe in the future I'll set up something where encourage people to join voice chat and kind of ask questions live if they want to. Earlier stream, yeah. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be earlier. We started around 8:20, 8:30 today, which is kind of late. But hopefully we will do that a lot earlier, maybe a couple hours earlier tomorrow. That way we can get more done. Yeah, the architect, that's also why like in finished videos, I don't like to put my voice in them. I just think it like seems less professional. But maybe that's something in the future where I might do like the cinematic video, but then also kind of a tour video, because people usually like those. So like a longer format, 10 or 15 minute video, just kind of touring the stadium, less cinematic, might be something cool. Also in terms of motivation, it can be hard if you like work for months on a stadium only to make one video. So sometimes you gotta milk the content, I agree. In my head, my voice, I feel like it sounds a lot deeper. So it kind of breaks my heart when I hear it. Question, for those watching, does the stream come up as public or unlisted, like in the description? Just curious. because it says it's public, but then under privacy it says unlisted. Just want to make sure we're public. All right, cool. Thank you. Once again, like these small details, it's something like realistically no one's ever going to see probably, but just making it shows kind of dedication to the details. And the more you pay attention to like details people won't see, the better the stuff people will see just comes across as you care more about it. All right, cool. Thank you. Show you real quick some of the exterior stuff we've done. There's this big glass wall here. So I can show you how that looks in real life. So that is right here. The quality on Google Maps isn't great, but you can see that there. All right, give me 1 sec. Just gonna reload my Minecraft real quick. All right, sorry about that. All right, we're back. So there's that glass facade. Then you can see this entrance here with those advertising boards, which you can see right in here. And then we have this big parking garage area with the ramps. So you can see we have here with the lines and the glass. So I'll show you now what we're working on. So this section is right here where it kind of curves outward to that bridge. It's got like a training field there. But so that's what this curve right here is. Gonna send out one more message real quick to the Discord server, see if anyone wants to join the call. All right. So you can see we're using the fill command once again to fill in this section like I was talking about earlier. So that last number is just kind of the radius of how big you want the area to be. All right, so there's that curve, and then we are basically going to have this go to this other walkway, and that's going to be the one border. So that's kind of how far out we'll go for exterior on the western side. And then we'll basically kind of go up here around kind of this line, and then down to this bridge here, and then we'll do this entire railway. So that's going to be the exterior bits that we have to build. But these areas, these grass sections that you can see up here, will be fairly easy, just because that's the slopes are going to be difficult, but it'll just be grass with some trees and stuff like that, and some small paths. So you can see the peninsula there, which lines up with this shape here. And then we'll just have that covered walkway. What's cool is there's actually pictures on that walkway, I believe. Let's see. Maybe not. Alright, I guess I'm not wrong. But so that's that covered walkway you can see up there. So it's kind of like that earlier one we did, just with different sides. And it's covered, obviously. Oh, there you go. So this is the view from up top. You can see the stadium there. So this is the railway we'll be doing. That's that road that we just did. So yeah. I just got the question again. So this is a private server. I can fit just a couple people that we're playing on, so that all three of us can build at the same time with this collaboration. Hopefully the first of maybe more to come down the line. it is a peaceful stream, I guess, with just me talking. So maybe in the future, I'll try to pull some strings and maybe have other members of the Discord community see if they're available. We can kind of just talk about building, do some kind of like podcast sort of thing while we're talking about the build. Could be interesting. I don't blame him. So I think we're going to start wrapping up the stream soon, in the next couple minutes. So I'll just in a minute give you a tour of everything we did. But the goal is that we're going to have another stream tomorrow night, or tomorrow, whatever time it is, 24 hours from now. Not entirely sure the timing on that, but hoping to start, 1 or 2 or 3 hours sooner than we did with this one. Just because I know for like people in Europe, it's a little late. But for everyone who joined, thanks for joining. So I'll just give you a quick kind of tour of what we've done. Let's see. Looks like my Discord crashed, which is unfortunate. But so we did this road here with a retaining wall and then these supports across. We did that peninsula where we're going to have that western edge of the build. And then if we keep going, we did the glass underneath this concrete area next to the road. And then obviously this pedestrian walkway, which goes over the road, and then we'll go over the railway. So tomorrow, I'm sure we will also be getting more done. We also did this grass over here. But unless anyone has any final kind of comments or questions, that's about going to wrap up the stream for today. Looks like we're good. So thank you everyone once again for tuning in. It was a good stream, just about an hour, 45 minutes. So thank you. Jacob says it was a good stream. Good luck on the build, and I will see you next stream. Sounds good. So we will hopefully, as long as no technical difficulties or scheduling conflicts, we'll see everyone tomorrow.